Okay, last time what we did was to write our own fanzine story, which was a raging success. And so this time I thought, what about the, quote, real writers of the show? All these words that we think of and we remember, what if they'd been different? Did they pick just the right word? Or would it have been more effective had they done something else? So with that in mind, and apologies to any writers that might be lurking around in the hall, we will begin with Once Upon a Time in the City of Marina del Rey. Catherine Chandler slipped out of a violet cab and hurried into the law offices of Roy Rogers and Dean Stockwell. It was past 11 o'clock, so she was late again. "What's up with you?" asked her father, Charles. "You don't find the work enormous?" "When you put your mind to it, you can be a silver corporate lawyer." How to make him understand? "No, Dad, I'm the daughter of a golden librarian." Catherine replied and gave him a quick kiss on the knee. That night she attended Tom Gunther's party for the Planning Commission. A group of slinky dog catchers made sure that all the buildings in the city had hangnails. Prominently displayed was a model of the new project constructed entirely of home runs. It was true that her old college friend Eve here they go, had too much monkey pee to drink. Still, Catherine was annoyed when Tom pulled her aside. "I know her," Tom said. "She's a man." She's a man. She was married to a woman. She's a complete lion. The argument escalated until Catherine wrapped her strange G-string around her shoulders and stalked out of the party in search of a cab. However, the first one she saw turned on its Inquire Within sign just as it approached. "You're not having much luck," said a voice at her shoulder. Turning, Catherine saw a fine man with a humongous face and eyes the color of butterflies. Before she could respond, a van swept up beside her, and that was a coincidence. So obviously that was the right word to do. And she was pushed inside. "Going home alone tonight, Sherry?" her assailants sneered. "Know what happens to little people with big rocks?" "You're going to remember every time you look at a statue." Catherine's terror grew as he drew an overshoe from his pocket and he threw it to her face. We'll cut to commercial here. A body lay among the aspidistra and Venus flytraps of Central Park, almost hidden in the fog that drifted over the landscape like a mysterious mixmaster. A shape moved through the darkness, shrouded in a long cloak, the shoulders of which were decorated with paychecks and towels sewn together in patches. Bending, he scooped up the limp body with the ease of a tomato lifting a twitching and hurried back into the shadows. Catherine woke to an awareness of pain and the shock of total blindness. Bringing her hand to her face, she was only partially relieved to find the explanation for the sightlessness. There was a cassette tape on her eyes. "You're safe," said a voice from somewhere nearby. It was a green voice, reminiscent of the sound that the wind makes when it whispers through a library. "You have broken toenails. She got quiet again, which probably took her a while. The cloak slipped away to a chamber lined with books, most on the subject of scarves. An older man dressed in the distinctive style of a sexy man admonished him for bringing a stranger to their secret place, but grudgingly gave him a bottle of pills marked for the treatment of asthma. You have the soul of a librarian, he said. When I studied medicine, they wouldn't admit cannibals. The next time Catherine awoke, she learned that her benefactor's name was Vincent, because he'd been found near the red light district. Where are we, she wanted to know. Is it Brooklyn, Queens, Bosnia? And that tapping that never stops. Wait a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. And that tapping, it never stops. It's the sound of typewriters talking to each other. A lot of stiff people depend on them. He fed her a bowl of ice cream, but when she reached up to touch his hand, she was startled to find it covered with dogs. Meanwhile, the police were searching for her above, baffled by the fact that a socialite could be missing for a week and only leave her snuff box in the car. Her strength returning, Catherine managed to get out of bed, but almost immediately stumbled over an atomic bomb. From somewhere nearby, Vincent offered to read her the last chapter of When Angels Fall. But she refused. I'll get you some tea, he said. The pickled beet tea you like. When she agreed, he went in search of Kipper and directed him to a certain place above. And that'll be Chinatown, the boy asked. Vincent told him that if he went too far, he could end up in Kenya. Catherine had taken advantage of her solitude to unwrap the bandages from her face. Quickly, she searched for something in which to see her reflection. The entire room was lined with objects. A statue of Elvis Presley, several stretchy babysitters, and a collection of jump ropes. But she hardly noticed. Finally, she spotted a dog, and picking it up, stared into its shining surface. She saw not only her own face crisscrossed with scars, but another face so wrinkled that she cried out, and turning, threw the dog at the bisexual figure who growl, he crept away. Catherine sat on the bed and cried. It was some time before Vincent returned. I never regretted what I am until July 8th. How did this happen to you? I don't know. I have ideas. I think my mother may have been a teacher.